Hi and welcome to my channel. So today I'm bringing you another layout using my April Like Forever kit. This is the last layout I created with this kit. I love the colours, I love the papers, but I did find it very hard to scrap with. So at the moment I'm using a lot of my offcuts. Apart from the piece that I've just chopped, the bit that I've punched out of, I didn't cut any of these papers at all. So at the moment I'm just messing about with what I already have, creating some fussy layers behind the photo to bring in all the different elements of the kit. The big piece behind is the diamond stripe. That one I chopped off a strip for my previous layout, but apart from that I hadn't touched it. So I decided with all those busy colours going on behind, I would back my photo in vellum. And this is of my eldest a couple of years ago with my nephew at his christening. So the only thing I really chopped out of the photo was a chocolate dip. So I don't think that needed to be remembered, even though the kids did enjoy them. So I'm just going to layer up these papers again just to check how it is I like the design, whether it's working for me. It was and it wasn't. I did like the way it was, but it wasn't ticking all those boxes. However, I did turn the layout up on its side and I found I liked that a lot better. So I've used the rest of a doily that I used on a Project Life spread, and I've popped half of it up the top and then there's a quarter of it down the bottom against the mint stripe. And I much prefer the way that that's looking. So I'm just going to see if I like the tags at the bottom. They're nice, but they're not quite doing it for me. I did try to get the gold number 1 in there as well, because this was also my nephew's first birthday party, but that didn't quite end up working either. So I'm not sure where I've gone at the moment. I've probably gone off to get some inks maybe. Yep, there I am. So there's the inks. I'm using the Tim Holtz Distress Inks in Tattered Rose, which is quite a nice subtle pale pink, but it does help to connect the papers together. So I'm just giving a quick ink round all of those, and then I will get those stuck down, as I'm happy with the way that's all looking. I just need to work on the rest of the layout to get that the way I like it. This must have been quite a quick layout for me to leave in all the sticking down. But I'm just going to rearrange those pieces of paper behind the photo. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same way it was before, but it is the way I like it. So once I got to that point, I've just popped a couple of staples so it doesn't move. And then I have joined in the trend of using kids' foam to pop up the photo rather than using all my adhesive dots. So the photo's popped up and has got that paper cluster behind it, and I'm just going to pop some string behind these tags to see if that's what's making them, will make them look a little bit better for me. In turn, I do end up taking them off the layout. I think it's bringing in that extra colour of navy and also the other tag having multiple colours on it. I think that's what's not quite working for me. So I do end up using half of this flower die cut, and that brings in the peachy colour that's in the word love at the top of the layout, and I do find that works quite a bit better. So I'm going to layer that up with a piece of the doily behind, as though it is going further than it really is, but I like the way that that looks. It gives that little bit of a soft touch to the photo, but not much. So I'm just going to chop the rest of that off and then pop my photo cluster and that back down. And then I've got, as I say, the love at the top. That was a cut apart in a square, and I've just gone round it and cut the love part out. So I've popped that up on foam as well, just to give another bit of dimension to another piece of the page. And I'm going to stick the photo down, and then I've stuck the word darling down and allowed that to just lip over the bottom of the photo ever so slightly. There's not much more that I do to this layout now. I will end up just adding a few little bits, just testing out a few hearts and stuff across the bottom of the page to see if I like those. They will end up moving though. That little peach heart at the top will end up staying, that will end up going just above the word darling. So now what I'm doing is I've got the pink stickers from the On Trend 2 collection, and I'm just going to be spelling out the word cousins. So the title will read Darling Cousins. So I'll just get those. I did start off with the word cousin and then decided to scoot things over a little bit and add the S while they are both cousins. So there's not much more I add to this layout. I have enjoyed the pages that I've created from this kit, even if I did find it hard to create them. But I am happy with everything that as it's turned out, and I do like a challenge. So I'm just going to move that word sticker saying sweetheart. With sweetheart, darling cousins didn't really work for me. So I do just move that up into the top cluster layers as I did like the word. So that will just sit there for the rest of its life. So last look through, check if there's any other stickers that I want to use, any labels that I want to tuck underneath. And then I'm just going to try and use these diamonds. I'm not much of a banner person, so it didn't really work for me. But you've got to test these things out, otherwise you never know. So I did pull in this flower sticker up in the top corner just to mirror the flower on the bottom corner, and just chop the excess leaves off there, and I do like the way that that looks. It gives a little bit of grounding to that heart and a reason for it to be there. So I'm just going to have another look through. I don't quite know what I'm staring at. Probably staring at what is it that's not quite working, what is it that I need to add. So I did decide that little heart did look cute above the word darling. Just gave that a little bit of an inking as well as the papers, so it matched up. And then I've brought in the little word love, and I do bring in a couple of the little sticker hearts to that little cluster as well, just to give that a little bit of something. And that is pretty much how my layout will end up. It's quite simple. I do tend to flip between simple layouts and not so simple. This is one of the more simple ones. I think the papers do a lot of the work for you with them being so busy. So I'm just going to layer up another couple of hearts and see if I can get those to work in the top cluster, so that I have got that mirrored as well. So there will be some close-ups coming up shortly, and you can see each of the clusters in their own rights. I'm just going to, before I finish up, I'm just going to add some colour shine, and that's in gold across the layout and around the little embellishment clusters. But thank you very much for joining me. I do hope you'll come back and see what I use to kill off the rest of the kit, which will be my Lex layout and my last creation for this kit before I break into the new one that arrived the other day. So thanks again for watching, and I'd love to see what you create with this kit.